Well, I think it's been clear to everybody there's a rift in the party, and you have this kind of faction led by Neil Hamilton and Douglas Carswell, who hated Nigel, made his life very difficult, particularly during the referendum. And I think...
and it was those two that made her life difficult, was it?
I wouldn't say that exactly, but what I would say is that she got elected on the idea of a kind of reform agenda, which she obviously felt she couldn't take forward. So I think for the party to go forward, there's going to have to be a radical change in approach.
You talked about a new direction, a kind of momentum for the right. Is that still where you'd like to go?
As a result of the referendum campaign, we had nearly 1 million online followers. And we think that's quite powerful, and we certainly want to get ideas across. If you look at what's happened in Italy with the Italian five-star movement, I think there is scope for an online movement, but you really have to say to yourself, if you looked at Theresa May's speech today, it was really Nigel Farage giving the speech. It's all of the policies he's been condemned for a very long time, and what it does show is that in the end pressure does pay off, particularly if it's got public support.
So she's stealing your voters now, pretty much?
Well, I don't know whether she's stealing it. I mean, it's clearly a calculated ploy, isn't it? She's basically today rebranded the Conservative Party UKIP.
And does that make you happy?
Of course it does. I mean, we got into politics. I mean, Nigel's not a career politician. Many people would say he is, but I don't think he is. He got in with some very specific objectives which have been achieved.
So that's the end, then? You could say if the Tories have adopted UKIP, you don't need to exist.
I think that's the wrong analysis. If you look at the general election, UKIP finished second all over the north, in places the Tories can't possibly win. And in fact, the analysis of the general election results showed that it was UKIP votes in marginal seats that gave the Conservatives their majority. So I think there's a huge opportunity to take on the Labour Party and actually make a huge difference.
It's jolly weird, though, when somebody like Stephen Woolfe, who said today that he's standing, nearly defected to the Tories himself.
Well, it's politics nowadays is pretty weird, isn't it?
Well, give us a sense then of who you're backing.
I don't blame him, by the way, in a sense, because he was treated really appallingly internally. I mean, the last leadership election, he wasn't allowed to put his name forward because his forms were 17 minutes late, despite the fact he'd been trying all day to submit them.
So this is all about personality rifts, not policy rifts.
It is.
That's pathetic, though, isn't it, really?
Well, I don't disagree with that. I think the party has to professionalise, it has to get its act together. But Stephen Woolfe could actually do that, particularly in the Labour heartlands. He's the ideal candidate. So I know the media like to write off UKIP, but UKIP have fundamentally changed British politics forever.
Don't think anyone's writing you off, but we are asking the questions. Your money, then, would follow Stephen Woolfe, would it?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I will back the party if it's reformed, if it's got the right leader. Clearly, at the moment, it hasn't, but things could change. You
called the last lot out of their depth in a paddling pool. So can I just ask you, if it was Suzanne Evans or Paul Nuttall or Raheem Kassam, would you be able to support them?
No. I think Stephen Woolfe's the one candidate that could do it.
So without Stephen Woolfe, basically, Arron Banks' money isn't in UKIP, is that right?
I think he will win. He's going to win overwhelmingly. So I don't think it's really something that comes up anyway.
Raheem Kassam put you forward as the, you know what's coming, don't you? The British Donald Trump. Can you rule yourself out the contest?
I don't think UKIP needs a leader that's more outspoken than Nigel, do you?
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily.